for the first part, we won't do anything hands-on, so I'll do a few kind of outro few tips. And then in the second part, we can kind of group together and work on exercises. And they're setting up Zoom, and I learned that I have to type with one hand and hold this thinking with the other hand, so we'll figure out how that works. Very unique. And Tim is my collaborator, so we're going to show you how we collaborate together on this new project. So you after that, you'll do the same thing together. Okay, so what? Yeah, that doesn't work.
You don't have a microphone over?
Okay, I'm okay now, but then I'll pause. Okay, so the goal of the session. First, just understand the advantages of using Git and GitHub. Some of you said have used it already. Some of you might have used it on your own. Some of you might have collaborated. Some of you might have never used it. So kind of, in the end, we want all to at least understand when it is useful to use it. Learn to track changes in code. So I think I'll say a few words more after that, but in general, Git is a version control tool, so it allows you to track changes. But it has become way more than that. So together with GitHub, it has become actually a tool for collaborating. And I think we're going to stress today of how you can use it for collaboration. And the version control is just one feature you get together with the collaboration. Oh, okay. Go ahead. So just to get a sense of what people know, so how many people have never used Git or GitHub before? Perfectly fine if you don't know. Okay. And then how many people have used Git and GitHub just by themselves, but not with others? Okay. And I assume the other ones have used it with others. Okay. So we have like a good distribution. So the idea is for this session, it's great because when you get team together, whoever has used it more can share with the one that have not used it, so kind of together. And I'll kind of go through quickly through how to use it, but just to say that it's like in general, like it's not a simple tool to learn. So don't expect that after this session everything is clear. It's a long process, so it's okay to have questions, and the idea is to practice more and just get better at it. But why do we need it? Everybody has seen, well, I assume everybody has at least felt this experience, even if they have not seen these comics. So we kind of do all these versions, and in the end get lost with whichever last version is. So Git is actually a tool that can take care of all these versions. So and GitHub is actually a tool to keep those versions on the web. So that's kind of the little distinction between Git and GitHub. And the idea of Git is to, instead of every time creating a new folder in which you put dissertation new, dissertation 2, dissertation 5, and so on. The idea, because that kind of works to some extent, but with every time you have a new copy of your dissertation, so at some point you're also going to have copy of all your images and so on, so this has to get big. So the idea of Git is that it just looks at the differences of what you already have. So it stores these documents, just storing the differences. So it's a nice way to just see what has changed from the previous version, as opposed to just having a whole new copy. And GitHub, on the other hand, is the website that you have seen, because you've already signed up for the Oceanhackweek organization, is actually what makes this collaboration happen on the web. And for example, this is the Oceanhackweek kind of front page. And you can see first there's like different repositories, and you can see that we have the tutorials there. So that actually allowed us, the instructors, to collaborate on these tutorials together. So otherwise, you know, some of us are from the other part of the country, but for Git, we could actually do that together. But then there are other people who can just kind of log in and just can read the tutorials without even telling us that they need them. So, you know, they can just learn from what has happened during Oceanhackweek. So kind of, it's easy to share this knowledge. And you see there are like 100 people, so more than who is in the room right now. And I guess that's kind of the main thing here. But let me show you a few other examples. So if we come here, it's okay, we can just. So this is an example of the Purdue Cloud Federation repository. So this is actually the repository which takes care of the whole deployment of Purdue, kind of the service that you're using. This is just another example of how people from like all over the world actually collaborate to build these tools so that you can use them. So, and for example, you can see, if you kind of look here, you can see there are some contributors. They have issues, so they discuss all these things together and they make decisions. So it's a very distributed way of working. And here you can see all the changes that happened to the code. So this is an example of all the changes that have happened. So in general, you see how like the latest changes have been merged so that you get the latest version and all the people combine their code. So this is just kind of to motivate you, like where you know, it's a little bit more than just I'm uploading my file on the GitHub. So it's really about building this community.
Go to this. Present.
Okay, so you're gonna ask me, what about Google Drive and Google Docs? You can now have, you know, history in those. So that's fine. I mean, I use Google Docs, Dropbox, and so on for a lot of things. Kind of the main difference to think about it is that when you have, if you look at the version of Google Drive or Dropbox, it doesn't matter. Usually you have this constant, you know, version saved, but it's very hard to know which one of this is what. So they're all done by me, but I have no idea. If I'm looking for something from the past, it's very hard to find something. So most probably if you lose something, you can retrieve it, but it's not clear, like it's hard to navigate. So if you really want something specific for your code, it's going to be hard to figure out what's changed in this history. And while for Git and GitHub, you have to be very implicit about, you have to be very explicit about your versions. So basically, it's on you to save this version. So that's kind of the main difference. That with Google Drive, they keep on being saved all the time. That sounds easy, but then you lose track of it. While with Git and GitHub, it's your responsibility. But if you do it, you know how to find your stuff. So that's something to think about if you have documents. Okay, so I assume that you have installed Git, and if not, well, you can talk to us and we'll help you. I assume that you have also account on GitHub, and you have some access to a terminal. So if you have problems with those, you have to put the sticky notes, and somebody's going to help you with that. But this is just the main assumption. And now we're going to go through the workflow on how we create a new repository, which you have to create for your project. And you can kind of see it, and after that you do it on your own. So that's kind of the main point. Okay, so I'll just leave these out, and I'll go to the actual. Yes. Sorry. Orange. Okay, so now I'm going to go and create a new repository under Oceanhackweek, and this would be the repository from my project. So to do that, you just we first will go to Oceanhackweek. And here you see the new button. So basically you go here, and we want you to use this this format so that all the repositories are easy to find. So you start with OHW19 project, and then the project name. And you can come up with a name. If you decide to change your name, you can change later, no problem. For now, you can just come up with some name so that you can practice together. So we're gonna call this generic project name. And I'm going to initialize with a README, and it's going to be a public repository. So that's all. Okay. So now I have one. And just make sure that it's under Oceanhackweek. So it's not under your own name. Because the idea is that it's a joint repository. Okay, so now we have one. So the next step is to so the idea is that this repository is now on GitHub. But if you want to work on it, you want to kind of have a file locally on your computer. So the idea is that we'll have a way to sync the repository that's up there with your local computer. In order to do that, you use a command which is called clone. So first I will go to a terminal, and I'll decide where I'm going to store basically all my Oceanhackweek stuff. So, and I'm going to kind of create a repository there. So let's see, I'm just going to make dir. And I'm going to navigate inside. This is just my working folder. So the command is to get the link from here, wherever the link is. Yeah, you can use this button here. And basically, in the end, I'm running git clone and the name that I got from the website. So don't do that yet, because you have to have one join, so doesn't everybody have a separate repository, because the idea is that in the end you want to collaborate. So maybe one person would make one and the other people would clone. But for now, I'll just clone this one. And what that thing did, I haven't hit enter, but it just says that it's basically downloaded from the internet. That's all. Okay, so now if I look here, I see that I have this folder locally. So now kind of whatever was on the website is staying locally. I can go in there and I see what's there. Okay, so it's only that README that I said that I want to have a README file, so just a text file. That's all it said. Okay, so now I want to make some changes, and I want these changes to go the opposite direction. I want these changes to go on the website. So first, normally the way you work, you just make changes with your favorite editor, and I'll use Nano editor, which is a terminal editor, but and I'll show you how it works, because I'm gonna make very small changes. But if you have big changes, you can use something else. So basically, I'll just open this file, and I'll write something. So this is, I'm just gonna write project discussion. And I'll put my name there. And Nano is, as you see, it kind of works within the terminal. And it's a little bit confusing if you have not used any terminal editor. But then the main thing is to exit that thing, which is the more confusing part. So for Nano, it's a Control O and then you hit enter. So this is how you save it. And I don't know, does anybody know why it's Control O? Okay, write out. Okay, for the whole out. Okay, out. Okay, I always want. And then Control X to exit. So now if I open it one more time, it's saved. But you can do this in a separate editor. So that's just kind of, for small changes, it works. For if you write your code, you do it separately. Okay, so I just made some change. And let's see what happened. So if I run a command called git status, this tells me what have I changed. So now this repository is under version control. So every time I change something, Git detects this. So for example, I made a change in the README, it detects it and makes it red because there is a change. And as I said, it doesn't save this change automatically. So it basically asks me to decide what I want to do with this file. And so it's up to me to decide whether I want to keep this or not. In this case, I'm gonna decide that I want to make this change show up on the website. And for that, there are 3 stages. There are like a few stages to do that. So we cloned it, right? So we brought from the website, we brought it locally. Then we kind of made some change. And to bring this change from here, from the document to the website, there are several steps. And so let me kind of explain the steps. So the first one, it's called git add, and that basically prepares your file for putting it on the website. So you just kind of indicate that you want to bring this file there. The second step is called git commit, and that basically collects all your files that you wanted to put on the website and kind of makes kind of like a version for those files. And then the third step is to bring this change to the website. So it looks kind of, if you have not done that, it looks awkward because why don't I just say save, or why don't I say upload? Why do I need to have all these 3 things to do? And kind of the idea is that, for example, if you plan to go on a trip, you know how you prepare your luggage? You keep on putting things, but you forget stuff, and you put more things, and at some point you zip that version, right, of the suitcase. So this version, the zipped version, is the committed version. And when you get the committed version, you have a kind of a reference for it in the history. So you can go back to it. You can go back to that suitcase. You can still open it and add more things, but kind of the idea is that you have versions of this in the history. And then only when you're completely ready, you can push this to the website. So does it make sense in general, like especially for people who are new to Git? So you have to go through these steps. Yes? No? Okay, let's do it kind of for this little path, and then you can practice yourself. So as I said, I do git add, and then when I do git status, it became green. So this means it's ready for, to be committed. So then I can do git commit. And when you commit, because you have this version, you're gonna have a message for this commit, so that it reminds you what you did. And what did I do? I added my name to readme. Okay? And then if I do git status again, it's happy because there's no new changes. And once it's happy, I can just say, well, I can do that git log to look at the history. So now you see how I have a history. This was the original commit. I have the other version. And if you have more things, you have more versions. And you can go back to that. So you can build on these versions. Okay, so now I'm going to push this to the website. And the language is a little bit kind of strange, but I'll explain it. So you say git push origin master, and so it's kind of doing the steps to go, and we can check whether it showed up on the website. So you can see it's on the website, okay? And let me explain what this origin is. If I do git remote v, so basically origin is just a nickname of this long link in some sense. So it tells me that I want to push this to this website. So just short name, so you don't have to type the whole website. So that's kind of, but you kind of have to remember that you need to do git push origin, and whatever it's saved in origin is going to go to that website. So it's just a way for the website to talk to your computer. Okay, so now we know how to make updates to the website, so I can work by myself, right? But now I want to work with Tim, and Tim is going to join in this project. But the first thing I need to do is I need to invite him so that he's my collaborator. So in order to do that, I will go to the repo, and I'll go to settings, and there's collaborators. It asks me for permission again. And I'll search for him. Okay. So I found him, and I just add him as a collaborator. And when you do this, usually this sends a link to Tim. But remember that when somebody does it for you, you'll have to find that link, and you'll have to accept the invitation. So there's like extra step, and usually people lose these invitations. So if you lose it, usually it also will show up as this. Sometimes with this bell, you get the new messages and so on. So just make sure you accept it, because otherwise you won't have permission. Okay, so now Tim is my collaborator, and he can actually make some changes to this repository. So I'll ask him to add his name, because we want everybody's name to be on our project. Yes. So by default, when I did git clone, I kind of pulled that from that repository. So automatically it was linked to that repository. So because I did git clone, so I started from above. If you start from, you just start, create a local repository, which is possible, and you decide how to name your project. You haven't decided yet. You can you can set it up manually, or you can change it, and I'll show you later. We'll actually change it. So in a sense, you can, by changing that, yes, so in my case, when I did the cloning step, it linked them, so by default they are linked. If we started locally and then try to link it, then we have to do manual. And in that case, you do git remote add and write kind of write a name. So yeah, it's kind of like they're linked by default, but you can change them if you want.
So
okay.
I did the plan. I did the fetch and then merge. It's full.
Okay, so what I have slides for that. Maybe. Okay, let's do some quiz before that. Let's just kind of review things before we jump. So to publish a file on GitHub, okay, that doesn't work this way. You see the answer? That's not fair. Well, you pretend you didn't see it. Okay. So to publish a file on GitHub website, you can commit it with git commit file name. Whoever didn't see the answer, maybe can try to answer. Is that true or false? Decency. Or everybody saw the answer. I think everybody saw the answer. Okay, somebody has not seen the answer, I'm sure. Maybe they can try to answer. Maybe by the break. Well, you have 50% chance.
Yeah.
So what does git commit file name do? Sorry? So we said we had to add a comment, and here I'm not even having a comment, right? So I'm already having something wrong, right? And we didn't really have the file name, but I have the file name here. So that's kind of, I mixed two commands. So something is not okay. So this command actually makes no sense, because normally you commit everything, you don't commit a single file. So you commit your current stage. And if you want that commit to be published to the website, what do?
Anyone?
Push. So, but you had to add it before, right? So it's kind of confusing. So the important thing from this is to remind you that add can work on individual files and folders, and commit and push work on everything that's at that moment, kind of the stage of your working environment. So maybe you can think about it a little bit, but be careful whether you have an individual file or you work on everything. Okay? So you cannot commit individual files, you commit all stage files. And stage files are the one that you have added already. Okay? Okay. What is the output of the file after the following steps? So let's kind of have to look at it. So we first write the first line in README, then do git commit, and then git push origin. What is the output? Okay, there is nothing because what did we forget? We forgot R, okay? So just make sure you don't forget things. Okay. So yeah, I mentioned that we have the history and just kind of the main ideas. I'm not gonna get into this, that every time you have a new commit, it's gonna have a kind of a name, kind of a short number. So you're gonna have these versions, and you can look at them using git log, as I showed you. So we have only 2 versions, but you can have more. And if you want to go backwards, you use revert. So this is just, you can practice more. We're not going to go through this, okay? All right, so the idea was that I made a push, Tim made a clone, because he joined me, and then he made some change. I didn't see it, because I don't know what he's working on. But he made a push, and then I see, if I come here, let's see what I see. I see he made some change here, but he messed up everything. So I wanted it to be on a separate line, and he misspelled his name.
Can I walk through a couple of things real quick? So if you look at you can look at the commit history here. You can click on commits, and you can see my commits. I actually made 2 commits, and if you click on this commit here, you can see what I did in this commit here. I changed this line to this line because in Markdown there needs to be a space between the 2 hash marks and then the heading. So I called that fix Markdown typo, and then I put another, and then I added another line to the read, which was to add my name to the read, and I did that here like that. And for some reason, it's funny, it came up on the same line. I don't quite understand it.
Well, I'll go ahead and try. I see the mistakes and I'll try to fix them. Okay, so now I see that, but how do I fix it given that I see it here, but I want to see it in the README file I have. And I don't have this stuff, right? Because this is on the website and this is local, so I don't have these changes. So to get these changes, I do git pull. So we did git push to go up, git pull to bring new changes. Okay, so I do git pull, and it says that one file was changed. It says how many lines were added and 1 line was subtracted, something like that. So now if I look here, I see the change. And I guess I want to fix this. Let's spell it correctly. Okay. Okay, I put it on a new line and I fix the spelling. Okay. So I'll save this. So now Tim realized he made a mistake too, and in the meantime he's trying to fix his own mistake, right? So we don't talk to each other, we just kind of communicate with GitHub. So he's fixing his own mistake, and I thought I fixed his mistake.
Do you want me to commit it locally? Oh, I see.
So
You want me to check
No, you don't know. So kind of the idea is that we don't know that we both at the same time are trying to fix something. And that's one of the nice things about Git is that if you work on code, you can kind of, you don't have to go call somebody and ask, hey, are you currently working on this? Because I want to work on this too. Like, so we can both work on the same stuff as long as in the end we make sure everything is combined. That's the idea. Okay, so let's see if we manage to achieve what we wanted. So now I'm gonna. Did you push it to the remote? So let's see if that works. Okay, so I achieved what I wanted. Luckily, sometimes you don't get it. So basically what it's telling me that I cannot do direct push, right? Because in the meantime, Tim made a change. And now it doesn't know, like we tried to write the same stuff. So that a little bit prevents us from overwriting each other work. And in this case, what I'll have to do is kind of pull his changes. So basically, before you push, you have to pull. So that you make sure your things are up to date, because I forgot to check for the new changes. And kind of this is the workflow that you kind of often pull and push so that you don't get into this problem. Yes. Yes, I did it. I believe so. I think if I look at my own history now, did I do it? I don't know. Okay. Let me see what I did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just as I just wanted to add really quickly, one nice thing about Git is that it's pretty smart and you often have notes of what to do and it tells you stuff about what you're doing wrong and how to fix it. So it does this all kinds of things. Actually, kind of magical here. It's giving you a big long set of information about what happened and what you can do, how to fix it. And so the nice thing about this Git is that it puts out those words. Which a lot of times really helpful.
Okay, so I think now we'll ask you to do this on your own, and I'll guide you to. Basically, we have all the details for what we really kind of try to do. All of it you can find. All of it you can find here. So it's in this markdown file. So I want you to go basically from step 1, which is just creating the repository. You can get to step 4. And there is a section about resolving conflicts. So if you encounter a conflict, if nobody on your table knows what this thing is about, you can wait and we can discuss it together. But for some time, try to work on your own. And kind of the main idea of this part is that one of, like preferably a person who has never created the repository can create the one for the project. This can be renamed, people can be moved, that's okay, just use it as a practice. Everybody will have to be added to this repository. and everybody will have to add their name. Okay, so it's pretty simple. But I think when 5, 7 people try to do it at the same time, there might be some conflicts. So if you encounter those, you can stop and we can discuss it later. Okay, go ahead if you have questions. I'll put a link of that in Slack. So do you have general questions about Git and the workflow, kind of the general understanding? Sounds no. Okay.